Okay, so they're giving us on this problem a stem and leaf plot, and they want us to find what's called the 5-number summary by hand. Okay, so I'm going to write these out longhand. You don't have to. I think it might be helpful to you. In other words, I'm going to start here and I'm going to say, okay, what is that 1 with the line 0 and 5? Well, it actually means 10 and 15, right? Because over here, these are the stems and these are the leaves. So it begins, the 1 is the first digit, and then followed with a 0 and followed with a 5. So 10 and 15. And then the next group, that means the numbers 20, 23, and 24. And then the next group, remember how stem and leaf plots work? It means 30 and 33. And the next group means 41, 44, 46, 47. And then the next group, 50, 51, 55, 58, 59, and then the last group is a couple of 60s. Okay, so there's all the test scores, or whatever they are. Let's assume they're test scores, or maybe quiz scores. They only go up to 60, so we'll say they're quiz scores. And all listed out. Now, what do they want us to do? They want us to find what's called the 5-number summary, which is these 5 numbers to summarize all the data. How do we do that? Well, first off, we can find the minimum and the maximum, because that's just right here. Here's the minimum, the lowest value, that's 10, the lowest score on the quiz, and the maximum, which is right here, the highest score on the quiz. Probably it was out of 60. So we got the min and the max already. That's easy enough. Okay, and now next they want us. Let me go to the notes with you. So here's the exam 4 notes, and it says finding the 5-number summary. Find the median. And so find the middle of the whole data set. For an even amount of data values, find the 2 middle numbers, add them, and divide by 2. This is the median. Okay. So let's go up and let's count the data values. Let me get rid of the min-max thing, and let's count them. This is the first number, second, third, fourth, because I want to see how many there are. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, so there's 18 data values. We're trying to find the median right here in the middle. So there's 18 data values divided by 2. So 9. So right here, the 9th data value. But wait a minute, let's look more carefully. 18 is an even number, right? 18 is even. See what it said right here? It said find the middle of the whole data set for an even amount of data values. We have 18, so that is an even amount. Find the 2 middle numbers. There's actually 2 middle numbers. I don't know if you remember, for finding median, if they have an even amount, there's always 2 numbers in the middle. Add them and divide by 2. This is the median. Okay, so I've got to take, they're telling me that it's not only the 9th, it's the 9th and the 10th. So it's also this one. Is that right? Are those 2 together the middle? Yeah, they are. You can see that's true, because there's 8 numbers below them, right? And there's 8 numbers above them from 10 up to 18. So yeah, those 2 are indeed the middle numbers. And so what do we do with those? The 44 and the 46? You add them. It said add them and divide by 2. So we're finding basically the middle of 44 and 46, and you probably already know what the middle of 44 and 46 are. It's 45, isn't it? So in other words, we just went right down the middle of 44 and 46, which is of course 45, and that is the median. That's the middle of the entire data set, isn't it? 45. Is that good for the median? So we just averaged the 2 numbers in the middle, added them and divided by 2, got the very middle of the 2 middle numbers. Now we're going to go on to Q1. find Q1, which is, excuse me, which is the first quartile, which is the end of the first quarter. We're basically breaking this data up into 4 quarters, 4 even quarters. Now take the bottom half of the data set. For this bottom half of the data set, if there's an odd number, do this, there's an even, do that. So we got to look at the bottom half of the data set. Okay, so what's the bottom half of the data set? Well, if that's the middle right there, then this is the bottom half of the data. Goes right up to the middle. And let's do the top half also. This is the top half. So this is the top half. And this is the, oops, bottom. So we have the top half and the bottom half of the data. That's what they're talking about. And then so they say take that bottom half, take the bottom half, and if there is an odd amount of data values, are there an odd amount of data values? How many data values in the bottom half? In the bottom half, there's it goes up to 9, huh? There's 9 data. So they're doing Q1 here. There's 9, so divide that by 2. That's 4.5. That rounds to 5. So the 5th data value right there is the middle. That is Q1. It's the 24. That's what they're saying. If there's an odd amount, take the one number in the middle. This is Q1. So if you have an odd amount, remember there's always one number in the middle. If you have an even amount, there's 2. So yeah, so the number 24 right here, because there was an odd amount, there was 9 data values. So divide by 2, round it 5th. So the 5th data, that is, and you can see that is the middle of the bottom half, isn't it? Because there's 4 numbers below it and there's 4 numbers above it in the bottom half. See that? So that is the middle of the bottom half, which means it's 1/4 of the way through the data, isn't it? See how we found it's like a football game or a basketball game where you're breaking the data into 4 quarters. So we took the middle of the bottom half, which is the end of the first quarter. And then we do the same thing for the upper. That's what you're looking at. Then say, find the 3rd quartile, do the same thing for the upper half as you did for the lower half. So I just go, oh, okay. So for the upper half, I come in here. Now, for the upper half, I'm going to kind of rewrite the numbers. This is the 1st, 2nd, for the upper half, I'm going to restart it 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, so not 78, 7, 8, 9 data values. And so which one is in the middle? Well, again, that's the 5th, huh? It's right here. It's the 55. That is the Q3. Just like the 5th data value was the middle of the bottom half, the 5th in the upper half, top half, is the middle of the top half. And you can see it's right because there's 4 numbers below it and 4 numbers above it in the upper half. It's the middle of the upper half, 55. And we're done. We've got the 5-number summary. These 5 numbers summarize all the data, don't they? Starting from the bottom number 10 all the way to the top number 60. This is the minimum. This is the maximum. So these 5 numbers, 10, 24, 45, 55. Here, let me write in the Q1 here. 24, and let me write in the Q3. 55, there we go. Okay, so yeah, the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum, they break the data up nicely. They summarize all 18 numbers, don't they? These 5 numbers summarize all 18 numbers. Why? Because they break the data into 4 nice even chunks, right? 1st quarter of the football game or basketball game, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, right? It breaks the data, 18 numbers, into 4 even sections, 4 quarters. That's what a 5-number summary does. So you can be told these 5 numbers, and you know how all 18 numbers spread out. You know a lot about the numbers. It summarizes them all because it tells you the middle, tells you where the quarter breaks are, and the lowest and the highest. It's a nice summary. There we go.